Jai Jagannath. So friends, today we have a special guest with us who is the driving force behind the rising Odisha startup ecosystem. Please welcome Dr. Omkar Rai, Executive Chairman, Startup Odisha. Welcome to the show, sir. So, sir, I would like to ask you, kindly brief us about the Make in Odisha 2022.
Make in Odisha is a global investor platform being organized by Government of Odisha. It is third edition. We had one Make in Odisha, first Make in Odisha in 2016. Then we had second one in 2018. And now it is the third edition. It's a bigger one. It's a it has been created based on the experiences that we had while conducting both the previous events. And it's a very bigger version, and it is going to showcase the prowess on potential for the investment across the globe, showcase the strength that we have within Odisha, our industrial prowess, our achievements so far, so that we could brand ourselves and attract investments.
Sir, as you mentioned, how is this event special compared to the previous ones?
In fact, it is again I would say it's a bigger one because we have learned from the past Make in Odisha events that we had. We have outreach to several new quarters. We have country partners like Japan and Norway. We also have outreach to the various embassies. Our Honorable CM had personally visited certain industry centers. He went to Bangalore, he went to Hyderabad, he went to NCR and Delhi. So many outreach events have been conducted. So a massive outreach has been conducted. A sensitization has happened all across the country about the potential that we have, the kind of opportunity that we will have to offer. We have also made it, our Honorable CM went to, while coming back from Rome, he also had a outreach event in Dubai. And therefore, this time the outreach is maximum. We have also been able to achieve a lot during last 10 years, and we have been able to project that and present those achievements, strength, prowess in front of the prospective investors and industry leaders. That is why this MIO 2022 is going to be very, very different from what we had in past.
Pleasure knowing that, sir. I would also like to know how is Startup Odisha planning this event and how are the startups going to be benefited from this conclave?
In fact, now spotlight has been on the state of Odisha, prospective investors, prospective industry leaders, ecosystem players are all coming to Odisha now. The Startup Odisha and the startups of Odisha have achieved critical mass because of the policies that we have. We had several programs in past. The investor ecosystem and community has been attracted to the state of Odisha. Our startups have made good news out of Odisha also, and that is why we are able to create a great brand for Startup Odisha now. When we have achieved the critical mass and when the industry leaders and investors from all across the world are getting attracted to our MIO 2022, and when Startup Odisha has got an opportunity to showcase its strength in the plenary session of Make in Odisha, I am very sure that it will get a lot of opportunity. Our startups will get exposed to the prospective investors, and we will get a lot of branding, and that will help our startups to garner and get a lot of investment support in times to come. This is the kind of opportunity and benefit that we are going to derive out of MIO 2022.
How is Startup Odisha going to participate in Make in Odisha and how are the startups going to be benefited from this conclave, sir?
In fact, in MIO 2022, Startup Odisha has got a major role to play. On the 1st of December, in the plenary hall, we are going to conduct minimum 3 sessions. One will be to showcase the policies, programs and the potential that we have to offer. Another panel discussion will be participated by the who and who of the investor ecosystem from all across the country. And third will be the unicorn founders, mostly from the Odia community, will also participate and talk about Odisha as a very huge and very great promising startup destination. the investors from all across the world, the industry leaders from all across the world, the policy planners, the embassy people from the consulates, embassies, the various stakeholders are going to visit in this 4 days MIU 2022. They are also going to visit our stalls where 25 chosen startups are being allowed, being housed to exhibit their product and services. And therefore, this MIO 2022 is absolutely startup focused, and it is going to bring the spotlight on the startup. And that is how in times to come the startups of Odisha will get more attention from the investor ecosystem and ecosystem players, and that is going to benefit them in times to come in big way.
As you very rightly mentioned, sir, we have been seeing so many connect events, discussions with so many investors, and Startup Odisha and Make in Odisha is working so hard to invite investors, businesses. So, what is the investment trajectory of Odisha?
In fact, during last few years, the Startup Odisha investment ecosystem has attained the critical mass. The kind of attention we have been able to draw from the investor ecosystem from across the country is very encouraging. We conducted Fund Stack 2.0 just recently, and that was participated by most of the investor community from all across the country. Again, we had a Odisha Startup Growth Fund. We call it Fund of Fund, and we floated an RFP. We got huge response. We had a commitment of 100 crore, and we were expecting the commitment from the prospective fund operators in the tune of another 200 crore. But I am very glad to inform that the kind of attention the state of Odisha is drawing from the investor ecosystem is very, very encouraging, that we have been able to get support, get commitment from the prospective fund operators in the tune of more than 800 crore. And therefore, in times to come, another 5 years, startup ecosystem of Odisha is going to enjoy a fund of more than 1000 crore, which will be invested in another 5 years. And therefore, in times to come, we will have no dearth of fund, and this entire funding that has been generated out of this RFP process will make a huge difference in time to come, and our startups will gain out of it.
Definitely, sir. I would like to know, how are you planning events related to the women entrepreneurs, centering around the female who are contributing towards this segment?
In fact, our Startup Odisha policy 2016 is absolutely in favor of women leadership. Honorable CM himself has given a mandate to Startup Odisha to make sure that minimum 33% of our startups are women led. I am very glad to inform here that we have surpassed those expectations, and now about 40% of the startups of Odisha are women led. We have differential incentives available for women led startups, and we have very favorable policies for them, and that has resulted in a lot of women led startups creating a startup in the state of Odisha. In fact, we work with UNDP, we work with CII, we also conduct women specific programs, and we are all open and collaborate with all sorts of industry led organization and ecosystem players, and all our programs are primarily focused on the women. We give a lot of priority to the women entrepreneurship, and that has resulted in the kind of statistics that I have just mentioned. In any case, in the state of Odisha, we all know that women get a lot of prominence from the government of Odisha. Our self-help group movement, or whether it is Millet Mission, or whether it is Startup Odisha, it has become a movement and participative initiative where women get a lot of prominence, and that is showing a lot of result. In fact, women-led startups are actually creating a lot of wealth, a lot of jobs, and a lot of value add for the people of Odisha.
Pleasure knowing that, sir. Any special message for the startups who are working in Odisha and trying to excel?
First of all, I must say that the policies and incentives that Startup Odisha has in place are best in the class. We are very conducive organization, and therefore accessing those incentives are very easy with us. I personally assure that any startup or incubator desirous of availing incentive from Startup Odisha will be welcomed and a very swift support will be extended to them. I must also mention here that state of Odisha has attained its critical mass in terms of incentives, in terms of infrastructure and in terms of policies which are very, very conducive for the startup ecosystem. Recently, we launched our Startup Yatra program, which was launched by the Honorable CM of Odisha, and it has travelled all across the Odisha, remotest part of Odisha. And from the experiences that we had, I must say that the young boys and girls from remotest part are indulging into ideation. They are pitching, they are participating in boot camps, they are giving ideas, they are coming up with startup ideas, and with the kind of support, with the kind of critical mass, the kind of infrastructure, with the kind of number of incubators we have been able to put in place, it all goes to create a very massive foundation on which the startups, young boys and girls and ideators of Odisha can indulge into startups, indulge into ideation, product creation and participate in the journey of prosperity that state of Odisha is undertaking right now and under the able leadership of Honorable CM of Odisha, Sri Naveen Patnaik ji.
Thank you for your valuable time, sir. I hope all the startup get a lot of encouragement and are who are willing to reach you. They can find an opportunity and most high participation is achieved in the event. Thank you.